Hello everyone, I'm LeaderofLuxinape, and this is Post Commentary. Last time on Pikmin 3 Mission Mode, we started the DLC Collect the Treasure levels. In this episode, we are going to finish the first ones, as in 8, 9, and 10. We're not doing the other 5 for now. Thirsty Desert Remix is actually one of my favorite levels in all of Mission Mode, because it's the more relaxing and fun one, since there's really not many ways for your Pikmin to die. As you can see, there's a lot of heavy fruits, but there's also a lot of purples. There's also, though, a lot of light fruits and a considerable amount of nuggets. That's where those pink and white candy pop buds come in. Basically, you have to first gather all of the heavy fruits with the purples, and then convert them to white and wings Pikmin and use those to get the lighter ones, or the ones that are just in water in general. So I am going to do fairly good in this run. My regular time is actually gold for it, which is very surprising if you've seen some of my other things. In fact, there is one super, battle enemies level 12, I think, or 12 or 13, or 11 or 12. Somewhere between 11 and 13, whatever, that I actually flat out never have gotten a medal in, and we'll see that a bit later. But I'm actually a lot more upbeat in being able to talk about things other than immediately what's going on screen, mostly because this part is kind of boring, than in the normal videos, which is really, really weird, because I sort of have a tendency to concentrate only on what's going on in the game when I'm doing mission mode. It's kind of a fault, and it's making me not like doing mission mode at all, really, anymore. I mean, I know that if I asked him for a rematch, he would gladly do one, but I'm thinking that if I start getting more views as a result of this series or future ones, and people start commenting, and if people ask for me to do more bingo battle with other people, I would seriously consider it, because bingo battle, on the contrast or contrary or whatever you want to call it, is actually probably the most fun that I've ever recorded. So Pikmin 3 is a great game. Mission mode just doesn't lend itself very well to LPing in general, and especially live commentary. Now, maybe I should actually talk about the game a little bit, but as you can see in the lower left hand corner of Brittany's screen, that's where you get your first wings. And I always do this. It's probably something that's screwing me out of getting a lot of the nuggets, but I always put a ton of Pikmin on these buried fruits, just because they're never going to get unburied if I don't. And I sound so scientifical here, and this has just been 3 minutes and I'm already out of stuff to say. This is great. This is really... Past me does not know how to throw Pikmin. Oh wait, actually I remember what I'm going to do now. I'm going to totally trick this out. You throw your Pikmin that is able to die in the water over there so you can get it. It's such a hard thing to figure out, and yet I'm almost proud of it. Wow. That's a lot of fat Pikmin too. Also, that's Pikmin. That's this game. This game is Pikmin 3. Yeah. Also, I'd say mission mode is the only part of Pikmin 3 that doesn't lend itself very well to LPing. Story mode is a bit lighter play, a lot more casual, a lot easier in general, except the final boss, which we'll see soon enough. But I'm gonna say that I would be able to do good LP of Pikmin 3 story mode, if I wanted to at the moment. I already have my 4th LP set up. I already have recorded like 8 hours of footage that I'm going to have to pare down to less than 5 minutes for a trailer. And those aren't even going to be the actual... And that footage isn't going to even be the actual first episodes, because I recorded like 8 episodes up to the first major boss of the game. Not even gonna bother saying what game it is until the epic reveal thing. But I didn't really like them very much. I was being as downcast and generally not exciting to listen to as I'm being in this series for that, and I felt it didn't really do the game justice, since it is a personal favorite game of mine. Not my absolute favorite. I still don't even think I have an absolute favorite, but it is a personal favorite of mine from its series, and I didn't really like it, so I recorded it again, and I'm thinking of recording it a third time because I'm still not satisfied with the way the video came out. But since I do need footage still from the trailer, and I'm not comfortable with recording that much in advance because I'm kind of getting a small feel that if I pull this off, I'm going to get a considerably larger amount of views than I do now from it. So I would want to only record like 2 episodes and see what the reception to them is before I make any major changes. Or so I can make any major changes if they are required. So I think I had like 8 episodes recorded. I think it would be a lot easier to actually use feedback too. But all in all, things are going well, and what am I doing right now? Probably past me was complaining about how slow purples are. I mean, purples are slow. But, I mean, yeah, the battle enemies, also a bit of a fair warning. The reason that I'm so upbeat and able to talk more freely about other stuff is probably because I'm still fanboying after 2 days over the fact that they revealed Rosalina to be in Smash 4. It doesn't really make sense unless they're planning on making a 3rd Galaxy game or a game featuring her as the main character, but yeah, I'm not even going to bother saying anything more on that subject. Yeah. I'm also going to make a bit of a projection. I haven't recorded this yet, but the other DLC levels, the 3rd round, which is both treasure and enemies mode, levels 11 through 15, so I guess it is 12 on enemies, that is the one I'm really bad at, but 12 through 15, those ones are some of the most fun things I've played in a video game that's come out within the past couple of years. So expect me to be a lot more cheerful about them than I am now even. And I mean, the real reason that I'm not really as upbeat and wacky as I normally am is because I'm kind of tired right now. But this needs to go up. It's been almost a week, and it's going to have been a full week probably by the time this finishes uploading. So I should really just stop complaining about things that are sort of out of my control and focus on actually maybe sort of talking about the video a little bit. I know this isn't really exciting. I'm basically using this as an update video, but I probably should have also kind of sped this up too, since this is a very slow map, but it's fun and relaxing. It's like I want to say the Animal Crossing of mission mode, but that doesn't really make any sense because, well, it sort of does, but I don't know. That awkward silence when you realize that the Peach thing just clipped into this ship and nothing happens. It's like when you get the sand-belching mirror slug, which is the biggest thing in the entire game that you can carry. It's like when you get the sand-belching mirror slug and it somehow goes inside the onion without a problem. It's just ridiculous how that's even possible. And it only gives you 50 Pikmin, which is the same as a Scornet Maestro, which is smaller than a normal Bulborb. Because every boss that you can take back gives you 50 Pikmin no matter what. It's kind of, well, it's video game logic, it's Nintendo logic. I'm not trying to doubt everything, but Also, I believe in a minute I'm going to make some sort of a... Wow, I was really stupid there. What I should have done, I should have replaced the purples that were on those 3 strawberries with whites, so they would have had a chance of actually getting back in time. I mean, even with 2 whites on these, they're not getting back. And those are not getting back. The Pikmin barely even got them off of the pile. Couldn't even get off screen. And I didn't check to see where those strawberries were, but they were nowhere near the onion. If I'd replaced those with whites, I would have at least got something done. I mean, yeah, 5 gold strawberries, none of them were really there, and never mind. I didn't do very good at all. I had it really bad in the world record. Well, actually, I almost got 50% of the world record once, so I should be sort of content with that. Maybe. Actually, basically, I don't know. I like to pretend to myself that I'm good at video games. And I am, occasionally. Just not very often. Sometimes I can pull off something ridiculous, usually luck-based. I do tend to have ridiculous luck, but sometimes when I do bad at video games, I just get depressed, okay? I don't like it when people laugh at me, and I'm just gonna get, like... Yeah, that's what I should do. I should just get pity subscribers. That would be a lot easier than actually trying in videos, but actually trying is so much more fun, so I think I'll just stick with that. I have no idea what I was saying there when I was panning over everything, but it probably had something to do with the fact that this is the only... Well, actually, there's a couple more in DLC Round 3 to have an onion. So you actually need to make as many winged Pikmin as you can for this. So just kill the sheer grubs, and bringing them to the onion will count as bringing them to the ship, so you will still get your money for that. There's no wasting that there. And that little molehill thing that you see very prominently in the lower right-hand corner of the screen, that would probably have bomb rocks, which would be extremely helpful, may I add, in them. Yeah, my cursor even went on top of that, and I never noticed for the entire level. I'm pretty sure the bomb rocks would have completely saved me multiple times here, too. Yeah. And also, Pikmin die. Many Pikmin die here. I probably should have noticed the fact that there were shearwigs before I started building the bridge. But, you know. Skiddo. That's just an adorable name. I'm sorry. But if you don't think the name Skiddo is like one of the most adorable sounding Pokemon names in history, there is something severely wrong with your grasp of names. And I just realized at this point that there's more bridge pieces that I was never able to figure out where they are, because I think that's what's actually in that pile. Yeah, I Captain Throw to get over there. I don't realize that that pile that looks like it has bomb rocks probably has bridge pieces in it. And I'm fairly certain that, at least in this run, I never go for it, because this is the first time I was playing this level in weeks. Almost a month, even. So I have a chance of not remembering that there were some bridge pieces in there, but it's kind of, sort of pathetic. And by kind of, sort of, I mean absolutely, and more sheer grubs. And yeah, for some reason, you have to aim winged Pikmin are capable of doing that. This is just kind of a thing that I was able to figure out by myself by playing the game. Winged Pikmin are actually... Oh, there's the rest of the bridge pieces. I am really stupid. Winged Pikmin, as I was saying for like the third time, are actually able to do that trick where weak enemies, if you throw a Pikmin directly on their head, they'll be taken out in one hit. Winged Pikmin can do that for sheer grubs, even if they can't do it for dwarf bulborbs. I'm not sure if they do it for dwarf bulborbs. I've kind of tried to do it, but it's sometimes appeared to work, but sometimes it hasn't. So it might just be luck-based for those, but I've gotten it. You saw it several times work with the sheer grubs. They can actually do it, you just have to be a lot more precise than with a regular Pikmin. That's what the gamepad aiming would be for, I would guess. Because I was able to do it without, like, I wasn't really trying to do that. I didn't know that, since I've always read on wikis and such that winged Pikmin, they always home in on their target, so you can't use that trick for killing a dwarf bulborb. But at short distances, winged Pikmin, they do still have the quick trajectory thing that normal Pikmin do, it's not until after they've slowed down a bit that they start to home in. So if you target something and throw it very close to it, the winged Pikmin will still be moving at the same speed it normally would, and it wouldn't have started its homing in thing yet. So it, as you saw, was possible to do with sheer groves, and I think if you time it or aim it perfectly, you can still do it even with bulborbs, but I've never been able to tell for sure. I'm pretty sure it's easier with the gamepad because you have like perfect aiming with the gamepad, since locking on works wonders. But I have a tendency to not be very good at playing with the gamepad, even though it's closer to the traditional Pikmin control scheme. I cannot do it for some reason, and I'm getting really annoyed now that I'm noticing that on a dirt pile that I still never notice. And this is the time where I decide to take on the Bulborb with 50 Pikmin, even if they're wings. I mean, 50 of any other if it was a mix of Pikmin, this thing would have been destroyed. And either way, it's still taking like 7 Pikmin. Or did I only actually lose 1 there? Wow. I mean, I'm not like professional, but I guess I'm better than I thought, or I just finally figured out how you're supposed to fight Bulborbs after how many months it's been since the game came out. But as you saw, Brittany found the first rock Pikmin of the level, and everybody's favorite enemy, the Arachnode. Yeah, I think all the enthusiasm that I may have had is gone now. And what do I do to get around the orange Bulborb? I seem to... What do I... Oh yeah, I just... get rock Pikmin, break down crystal wall, ride lily pad around, that stuff. Alright, so I was actually being sort of smart there. Nice change, seeing myself be sort of smart for once. I guess. Something like that. I don't know. I'm running out of things to talk... Now, I seem to think, when I commentate, that there's some really fine line between... Constantly bumping my mic. A really fine line between talking too much about the game and not talking enough about the game. And see my little cheaty trick here, except they attack the wall instead of getting the pile of nuggets, because apparently hitting the little metal support counts as hitting the wall in some universe. Yeah. The universe of yeah. I don't know. It's just that sometimes I think that when I talk too much, when I realize that I'm going on a rant about something completely unrelated or only slightly related to the game that I'm playing, I sort of freak out and think that I'm not talking about the game at all. And then I spend the rest of the episode basically giving a play-by-play of what I'm doing. So I think that's at least another reason, because I basically was doing the same thing in the parts of my next LP that I've already recorded. So another thing that I'd want to change if I do it again, which I'm actually, now that I'm talking about it, almost definitely going to. So yeah, look forward to trailer footage that's not even going to be in the final product. And I know that already. I'm not being Nintendo with the Nintendo Direct. Like, yeah, we saw that there was something... I seem to remember there was something about Pikmin 3 that suggested that it was going to be, like, open worldier and a lot more exploration based, but it turned out to basically be Pikmin 1, but I don't know. Story mode is actually my least favorite mode of Pikmin 3. I sort of feel bad because it's by standards of Nintendo story, for a story in a Nintendo game, it's not that bad for one of the undeveloped story games. I'm not talking about compared to the story of like Super Paper Mario or something, it does not qualify as not that bad, but compared to the story of most other Nintendo games, it's pretty okay. So I kind of feel bad for saying that, but at the same time, it's still my least favorite mode in the game. Not based on the actual story itself. And here, at long last, I start taking on this orange Bulborb, and this is the part where I have one of those stupid realizations, like, in front of that one that you can see there, there's an armored cannon larva, so I'm going to dismiss all my Pikmin and make it hit the Bulborb, killing it completely, which is what the bomb rocks also could have been used for, but I'm not smart enough to realize that there were bomb rocks in the level at all. And the best part is I never am able to bring this Bulborb back, especially because I was trying to use it. Wow, I actually succeeded in distracting it so that the other captains could get there, but my attempts, like, that should have taken it out. Ordinarily, that would have taken it out, and I don't see why I bothered switching captains. I should have just whistled the other ones over to Charlie. I don't know. Another thing that I don't like about doing post-commentary, obviously I'm only doing it because I have to, and because I kind of like the runs I had of these levels, since they were sort of on the average side of the kind of runs that I like. I'm not saying that they were good runs by any means. I'm just saying that they seemed to be good to commentate. Just the little different tricks that I was doing, but then I stopped really talking about what was going on, so it didn't help. That's what you were supposed to do with the Bulborb a long time ago, but I was too stupid to figure that out in the other 2 times I recorded this and had some sort of fail. But I don't know, I'm kind of just trying to justify my own stupidity at this point. So, never really realized this level is basically enemies, cherries, strawberry. It's enemies and gold stuff. So, something, and half. Okay. Alright, we're going to do the final level, or I am going to have done the final level, which is Shaded Garden Remix. I don't really remember what my performance on this one was, but I see this is one of my better, well, one of my favorite, actually, if not better levels. So, as always, I open up with Captain throwing, and dumb Charlie is dumb. So, then I'm stupid enough to switch to Charlie instead of whistling him back. And I didn't notice those yellow sprouts there right in front of me. So, what we're supposed to do here with Brittany is not what I'm doing. You were supposed to throw them at the thing. And I went for the peach. And I should have just let that yellow go, because I could have just waited until I had more Pikmin instead of just captain switching and waiting a very long time for the Waddlepus to be defeated. I should have just taken that one fruit. What is that fruit? Like a raspberry, I want to say, or a boysenberry? I don't know, but Alpha's kind of flying. Hate how you can't switch captains when you're doing stuff like that. Even in sequences where you're bouncing on multiple bouncy mushrooms, you're not able to switch captains, and I suppose now would be a good enough time to announce it, since it's going to be the next episode of the series after this one. Pikmin 3 Mission Mode is actually going to have a Christmas special. Now, this is not for the purpose of making any sort of commentary whatsoever, but levels 10... Level 11 for both collect treasures and battle enemies, both DLC, but free DLC that you get with an automatic update to the software if you have it. They are Christmas-themed levels, so I already have recorded myself playing through those with my same lack of enthusiasm, but it was mostly, well, not really unenthusiastic, just bland commentary, since all I was really doing is praising the level design for those levels. But I've already recorded that, and since they're Christmas-themed levels, and I'm doing a full series of mission mode, I might as well upload them on the day they were themed after, so I am. So there is going to be just a... Oh, forgot about the Chromad, actually. There is going to be a bit of a break in the levels, because this is the end of this is Treasure 6 through 10, Then I'm going to do Treasure 11 and Enemies 11, and then Enemies 6 through 10, which I've also recorded already. Have I recorded them already? I don't even remember what I've recorded. No, that's right. I didn't start recording Enemies 6 through 10. After I recorded this, I went straight into Treasure. I need to. I don't even remember what I recorded, but I've recorded something that's going to be after that special. Preferably later on, and with some random spliced in footage from some random game spliced in at the beginning, because why not? Splice is a fun word to say. Splice is actually a very fun word to say. And these bombs are... I'm a genius. I am such genius. I almost said that all these bomb rocks we're getting are pointless right before I bomb the wall. And I'm going to waste one of these on the Hermit Crawmad, aren't I? No, I'm just going to waste like 7 seconds. And why didn't I throw 3 bombs? I also wasted like the amount of time it takes for a bomb rock to explode, and I kind of wasted Brittany for this entire level because she was standing there most of the time. I wouldn't consider this level a train wreck until I find the Snagret, and also having completely forgotten that it exists. That's the main part. I forgot that the boss of this level is a Snagret. Well, is the boss a Snagret? Yeah, the Snagret's the most powerful enemy in there. So, yeah. For some reason, my method of taking everything but the bomber, I could have just thrown the bomb at the Snagret, I guess, but, well, that wouldn't be smart. I don't know, this is why I hate post-commentary. There's really, like, nothing to talk about. It's just, I mean, I'm able, in this series, most of the time, to do, sometimes in this series, at least, I'm able to avoid doing a play-by-play, but when you're post-commentating, that's kind of all that you can do. Besides, disguise an update video as something meaningful. But at any rate, that's a burrowing Snagret. It's going to die shortly. And perfectly on cue, it does die. I've actually heard that in story mode, there's this really weird glitch when you're fighting the one Snagret that actually appears in story mode. Yeah, all of these enemies I'm calling the bosses of levels are actually just one-off mini-bosses in story mode. Which I really didn't like. I didn't like that story mode was so small anyway, but... Is this... never mind, I thought I was going to throw the bomb there by mistake. And I don't know how to Pikmin. That's great. What am I... Oh, yeah. That's what you have to do. You split up between blues and not blues. And by that, I mean you go in the water to get stuff that's in the water, and that Hermit Crawmad was so beautifully clipping through the Snagret. And speaking of Snagrets clipping through, in story mode, for those of you who don't know and are just watching this for mission mode, which is probably 1 out of the 2 of you watching this, in story mode, the bamboo gates that you require 10 wing Pikmin to lift up, the burrowing Snagret is fought in an arena blocked off by one of those gates on one side. That side happens to be the side closest to the onion. So, when you bring the Snagret corpse back to the onion, you have to obviously have Pikmin lifting up that gate, because they'll always try to take the shortest way if it's available, which includes the gate. So, they're not going to not take it even if you close the gate down. So, it's actually possible, while the corpse of the Snagret is moving underneath the gate, to whistle the 10 Pikmin that are holding it up down, and it will actually trap the foot part of the Snagret behind the gate, while the Pikmin continue to drag the head back to the onion. So the Snagret can be grotesquely... That's probably one of my weirder word fails yet. Grotesquely stretched out throughout the entire level all the way back to the onion. while the foot is still caught there, and my computer just went to sleep. So, yeah, my computer went to sleep because I went so long without touching it while I was recording the 29 minutes of audio, so, this is taking place like 3 minutes later than I was intending it to. Woo, big deal. Yeah, Hermit Crawmad. Yay, Pikmin dying. I'm so bad at fighting enemies in this game that I'm not even going to be able to get this carcass back in time when it's right in front of the ship. Well, actually I am. I am just kind of lying, and I missed actually a lot, and, that's what you call wishful thinking. Thinking that winged Pikmin could get those back in time when some of them were shocked by the Amp Rat. The yellows were being, they could, like, one of the yellows could have gotten something back. Oh, no, if the wings couldn't have, the yellows couldn't have. Never mind. Anyway, that's sort of the end of this episode. Next time, I think some of the audio was actually left in the episode, so maybe I could have a live commentated one. But until then, that's my new record, and I'm Leader of Luxinape, signing off. Actually, never mind. Next episode's a Christmas special. Whatever.